Anchorage, Alaska, 2019. America's Last Frontier. Where rugged wilderness meets urban life. Where tourists come to witness the midnight sun and experience untamed beauty. But in the shadows of this remote paradise, a different kind of darkness was spreading through the community. Methamphetamine was flooding the streets of Alaska's largest city, turning the land of natural wonders into a drug highway. The geographic isolation that made Alaska a tourist destination also made it perfect for criminal operations. Thousands of miles from major law enforcement centers, with limited resources and vast territories to patrol, Alaska had become an ideal smuggling corridor. Welcome to Savage Case Files, where we expose the most shocking betrayals, brutal crimes, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Today's case: a naturalized American citizen who turned the American dream into a nightmare for Alaskan communities. This is the story of Esteban de los Santos Pebenito, known as Pepe to his criminal associates and Stefan to those he deceived. A Filipino immigrant who achieved the ultimate goal of American citizenship, then used that privilege as a shield while poisoning American streets with methamphetamine. From the Philippines to Hawaii, California to Alaska, we'll trace the international drug empire that made one man wealthy while countless families suffered the devastating consequences. The FBI has been hunting him for over 4 years across multiple states and countries. The reward? $10,000, 0 cents. The question that haunts investigators? How does a 5'4" drug dealer with distinctive tattoos stay hidden when half the Pacific is searching for him? This isn't just an Alaska story, it's a tale that spans the entire Pacific Rim. Born on December 26, 1974, in Ilocos Norte, Philippines, Esteban de los Santos Pebenito entered the world as a Christmas baby with what would become a criminal future. Like millions of Filipinos before him, Pebenito dreamed of America, the land of opportunity where hard work and determination could transform any life. His journey from the rural Philippines to American soil represented the classic immigrant success story. Through perseverance and legal channels, Pebenito achieved what countless others could only dream of: naturalized United States citizenship. He had sworn an oath to support and defend his adopted country, a moment that should have marked the beginning of a legitimate American life. Standing just 5'4" with black hair, Pebenito's shorter stature might have helped him blend into crowds or made him more memorable to witnesses. His most distinctive features were the elaborate tattoos covering his abdomen and back, markings that would later become crucial identifying characteristics for law enforcement. Pebenito lived a double life with surgical precision. To criminal associates, he was simply Pepe, a street name that commanded respect in underground circles. To legitimate contacts and authorities, he presented himself as Stephen Pebenito, the naturalized citizen building connections across the Pacific. His criminal empire wasn't confined to one location. Pebenito established footholds in Hawaii, California, Nevada, and ultimately Alaska, while maintaining ties to his homeland in the Philippines. This wasn't random expansion. It was strategic positioning that created a drug trafficking corridor spanning thousands of miles of ocean and territory. While most immigrants used their American citizenship to build legitimate businesses and contribute to their communities, Pebenito weaponized his status to betray the very country that had welcomed him. In 2019, Anchorage became the unlikely epicenter of a Pacific Rim drug operation. While most people viewed Alaska as America's pristine wilderness, Esteban de los Santos Pebenito saw it as the perfect criminal opportunity. The state's geographic isolation, limited law enforcement resources, and strategic position between Asia and the continental United States made it an ideal distribution hub. Benito's methamphetamine operation devastated Alaskan communities already struggling with the unique challenges of frontier life. Rural areas, with their sparse populations and limited access to treatment resources, proved particularly vulnerable to the drug epidemic. Native communities, already facing economic hardships and social challenges, were disproportionately affected by the poison flowing through Benito's distribution channels. The scope of his criminal enterprise extended far beyond Alaska's borders. His connections stretched from the Philippines through Hawaii, California, and Nevada, creating a drug highway that spanned the entire Pacific region. Each location served a specific purpose in his operation. The Philippines as a source connection, Hawaii as a cultural bridge, California and Nevada as mainland distribution points, and Alaska as the remote hub where detection was most difficult. Federal investigators began noticing unusual patterns in methamphetamine flows into Alaska. The quantities were too large and too consistent to be random street-level dealing. This was organized, systematic distribution that required significant resources and international coordination. As evidence mounted, a disturbing picture emerged. Benito had used his legitimate travel between these locations as perfect cover for criminal activities. His cultural connections and language abilities allowed him to operate seamlessly across different communities, while his American citizenship provided protection from immediate suspicion. The investigation revealed a sophisticated operation that had been poisoning American communities while enriching one man who had sworn to defend the country he was betraying. July 22, 2021. The U.S. District Court for the District of Alaska issued a federal arrest warrant for Esteban de los Santos Benito on charges of methamphetamine distribution. After months of investigation, federal prosecutors had assembled a comprehensive case against the man who had turned Alaska into his personal drug distribution center. The FBI's Anchorage field office immediately took the lead on apprehension efforts. This wasn't just another drug case. Benito's international connections and multi-state operation made him a priority target for federal law enforcement. The moment that warrant was signed, he officially became one of America's most wanted fugitives. Law enforcement moved swiftly across multiple jurisdictions. Simultaneous operations were planned in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and Nevada, every location where Benito had established criminal footholds. International alerts went out to Philippine authorities, activating a Pacific-wide manhunt that spanned thousands of miles. But when arrest teams arrived at Benito's known addresses, they found empty rooms and cold trails. He had vanished completely, leaving no trace of his whereabouts or escape route. The timing suggested either incredible luck or months of advanced planning for this exact scenario. The FBI immediately classified Benito as armed and dangerous, warning that he posed a significant threat to public safety. His designation as an escape risk reflected law enforcement's assessment of his international connections and resources. This wasn't just a drug dealer on the run. This was a man with nothing left to lose and the means to disappear across international borders. 4 years have passed since that warrant was issued. Despite intensive manhunt efforts spanning multiple countries, regular sightings reported by the public, and a $10,000 reward offered by the FBI's Anchorage field office, Esteban de los Santos Benito remains at large. 4 years have passed since Esteban de los Santos Benito disappeared into the vastness of the Pacific region. The man who once flooded Alaskan streets with methamphetamine would now be approaching 50 years old. Yet his face still appears on FBI wanted posters and international alerts. While he has enjoyed years of freedom, the communities he poisoned continue to struggle with the lasting effects of his criminal enterprise. Alaskan families destroyed by addiction wait for justice while their destroyer remains beyond the reach of American law. The methamphetamine epidemic that Pebenito helped fuel continues to devastate rural communities with limited resources for treatment and recovery. Native populations, already facing economic challenges, bear disproportionate consequences from the drugs he distributed. The geographic scope of the manhunt presents unprecedented challenges for law enforcement. The Pacific region offers countless hiding places, from Alaska's remote wilderness to the thousands of islands scattered across the Philippines. Pebenito's cultural connections in multiple countries complicate the search, as he could blend seamlessly into Filipino communities from Honolulu to Manila. His distinctive tattoos covering his abdomen and back remain the most reliable identifying features, but these markings could serve as either his downfall or his camouflage. In Filipino culture, tattoos often carry deep personal significance, potentially making him more recognizable to those who share his heritage. Theories about his current location vary among investigators. Some believe he returned to the Philippines using family connections and cultural familiarity. Others suspect he's hiding in plain sight within Hawaii's large Filipino-American community. A few think he never left Alaska, using the state's vast wilderness and sparse population to remain undetected. The FBI's commitment to international drug trafficking cases ensures that Pebenito's file remains active, with regular coordination between American and international law enforcement agencies. The search for Esteban de los Santos Pebenito continues today. If you have any information regarding his whereabouts, contact the FBI's Anchorage field office immediately or reach out to your local FBI office. The $10,000 0-cents reward remains active for information leading to his arrest and conviction. Your observation could be the breakthrough that finally brings this international drug dealer to justice. We make a special appeal to Filipino-American communities across the Pacific region. Someone, somewhere, recognizes that face and those distinctive tattoos covering his abdomen and back. Pebenito may be using his cultural connections to hide, but those same connections could be the key to his capture. Where do you think Esteban de los Santos Pebenito is hiding after 4 years on the run? Has he returned to his homeland in the Philippines, using family ties to disappear into rural communities? Is he blending into Hawaii's Filipino population, hiding in plain sight among thousands who share his heritage? Or did he never leave Alaska, using the state's endless wilderness to stay off the grid? Remember the Alaskan communities still recovering from the methamphetamine epidemic that Pebenito helped create. Every day he remains free is another day that justice is denied to the families whose lives were destroyed by his criminal enterprise. This has been another case from Savage Case Files, where we expose international crimes and the relentless pursuit of justice. Subscribe for more cases that span continents and reveal how criminals use globalization to evade consequences. Esteban de los Santos Pebenito thought he could disappear into the vastness of the Pacific. But drug dealers can't hide forever, and American communities deserve justice.